Okay, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. It's 4:30 p.m. Jen, if I can have you call roll.
Magistrate Humphrey.
Present.
Magistrate Coldarn.
Present.
Magistrate Riley.
Present.
Judge Chuckfield.
Present. Appears we're all here. We'll move on down to item number 3, approval of the regular meeting minutes of March 5th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written for March 4th, 2024.
I second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey, second by Magistrate Coldarn. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item 4, the fiscal matters. 4A is approval of the claims on the general fund, the road fund, and jail fund, along with all transfers presented dated March 19th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims against the general fund, road fund, jail fund, along with any transfers as requested, dated today, March 19th, 2024.
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. We'll move down to item B, Grant County Clerk Tabitha Clemens, final settlement of excess fees for 2023. And we have Tabitha here with us tonight. And we've got can everyone see this on their screen?
Yes, I can.
PowerPoint presentation. Okay,
Yes.
Tabitha, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. So, Colton, you can go ahead and move to the next slide for me. This just gives you a snapshot. Every year I like for you to know how many deputy clerks are in the county clerk's office. So the majority of 2023, we made it with 7 deputy clerks, 1 part-time clerk, and we had during our Christmas break, we had for a few weeks a college intern help us in the office to prepare for the changeover for the year and get prepped for CAVIS. So that's what our office overview for 2023 looked like. You can see that compared to the other years there. All right, Colton, I'm ready to move on. So I always give you a breakdown of the types of transactions that we do in the county clerk's office each year. This year we had, or in 2023, we processed 55,409 motor vehicle transactions. That is down slightly. That was partially due to some of the CAVIS prep that we had to do. Some of our transactions were not counted there towards the end. In our daily count, the money was accounted for, but the count of the transaction was off. So we did see a little bit of a decline there. In deeds, those were up. We recorded 1,092 deeds. We were down in mortgages, which is interesting when normally when you're up in deeds, you record, just as many mortgages, but it looks like a lot of transactions took place without a mortgage being filed. We had 748 of those. Marriage license stayed steady at the 170 mark. Title lien statements, which is liens on motor vehicles, was down slightly. 2,968 of those were filed for total transactions of 60,387. Again, I think that was a little bit off just because of some of the transition into CAVIS due to the motor vehicle transaction count there.
Tabitha, I got a question. Would
Sure.
some of the motor vehicle transaction be off because the auto workers were on strike during 23?
Sales were overall, when we get to the overall budget of what we did in motor vehicle or in the office, we were comparable to last year. I don't think that it's necessarily that that caused the issue. There was less sales in cars last year overall, mostly due to higher interest rates. I feel like folks are holding on to what they have longer, waiting for interest rates to kind of go down.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next slide. So this is our year-to-year budget comparison. I did take some of the years off on some of these slides because we're been in office for a lengthy period of time now. We're running out of room on the screen. I think that's a kind way to just say that I'm getting older. But in 2023, you'll see that we projected, I wasn't feeling very confident about the market when we planned out our budget. I only planned for 8.6. We actually made it just at 11.5 million. So that was really encouraging to me. That's the highest budget that I have in revenues that I've taken in since I've been county clerk. So so there was definitely some movement in the office and in the market. That's one of the reasons why you know, Chuck, I don't think that it necessarily that the auto worker strike played into those things. Obviously, we were up in some deeds. We also transitioned a pretty large fleet of vehicles from a company that's located in Grant County. They moved their fleet from another state to our county, primarily from what I could gather from the company because of the customer service that we offer in the office. So they have they'll be renewing those vehicles this year, and that will be helpful to the overall budget. Then the disbursements, as you can see, we have to balance out, and that ends up leaving you all with an excess fee amount that was turned over of $81,953.57. Overall, in the 9 years I've been clerk, I've turned over $776,817.29 to the fiscal court. I'm ready to move on if there's not any questions. Okay. So I always give you a breakdown each year of what we collect on behalf of the fiscal court and submit those payments to you monthly. This year, I'll point out that the ad valorem tax, this is the vehicle tax once you've owned your vehicle for, you know, a year going into the new year as you're the owner as of January 1, we collect that ad valorem tax. And the amount that we turned over to the fiscal court is the highest amount that I've turned over to the fiscal court since coming into office. It was $356,610.52. And then in deed transfer tax, we were down just a little bit in deed transfer tax, even though we had more deeds that were brought in. Deed transfer tax, there are exemptions in certain circumstances that people don't pay that tax. So that number is $117,009.09. And then in delinquent property tax, we were up just a little bit at the $26,156.04 that was turned over. So you can see there for the year, it was almost $500,000, just under $500,000 that was given to the fiscal court this year and those taxes collected. And over the entire time since I've been clerk, it's been $3.4 million that we have turned over in tax revenue to the court. So the next slide, I'm going to briefly talk about some needs that we still have ongoing at the county clerk's office. I do this every year with you. As we turn over excess fees, we're hopeful that we'll see some improvements from those funds come back into the building. One of them is, I know Chuck has been working on this, and hopefully with the weather breaking soon, we'll see this project take place. But to fix the concrete and the railing on the north side entrance of the clerk's office, the railing is in poor shape and the stairs as well. So I'm hopeful that we can get those fixed. The glass doors have been an issue since I got into office in 2015. We've been fortunate that our maintenance staff has been able to go find parts from other doors and rehab our doors over and over, but that's an expense that I see that we're going to have to do something about in the near future. The doors are stripped, so the gears inside of the mechanism, and they don't sell those anymore. It's not something that they make on the market now. So that's something that I see we're going to have to do in the months ahead. The downstairs tile and the carpeting flooring in the election room definitely needs replaced. And then We have a lighting plan with Tony and George where they come in and replace things. That happens on an ongoing basis. So we're going to look to continue that. And then this year, I'm really excited about this. Out of the clerk's budget, before we turned over the excess fees, we had talked to Chuck most of the year about remodeling the bathrooms. 3 out of the 4 bathrooms we were able to complete. The men's downstairs bathroom, we have not completed that one. I'm hopeful that we'll have enough funds as we get further into this year that we will be able to accomplish remodeling that one as well. But we had severe issues with some of the plumbing that needed to be remodeled. Tony took care of quite a bit of that. And then we didn't have any changing stations. We had some handicap accessible issues with the restrooms. So all of that was addressed in this remodel of the 3 out of the 4 restrooms. And really happy with the way that those turned out. If you are in the office in the next few months renewing your tags, or you want to stop over and look in, feel free to. Chuck made a suggestion about the style of toilet that we purchased, and that was really a great suggestion, and I'm really happy that he suggested implementing that style of toilet. Is really helped ensure that the toilets stay clean. And then every year, this time of year, as the weather changes and it starts to warm up, we start having issues with our back doors and them wanting to close because they get so hot, they expand and they don't want to close. So awnings is something that I've requested for several years. Chuck's been having a hard time finding a vendor for that, but just wanted to make sure that it stayed on the forefront. And then I'm happy to take any questions that you might have tonight.
Tabitha, I don't have any question, but I'd like to compliment you. As always, we continue to hear praise of your office, and I've got a job you and your clerks do, and we appreciate it. We really do. We appreciate you staying on top of everything.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I couldn't do it without my deputies. They really keep the office and things going smoothly. Specifically right now, as the legislative session winds down and being the president of the County Clerks Association, there's certainly times that I'm out of the office more than I want to be. But they've continued to do a great job. This year specifically has been very difficult because of the KVIS implementation. Things are improving. I keep saying that because there's still problems. Hopefully one day I'll be able to say that the system's perfect and there's no adjustments needed, but that's not the way that it is right now. So
great. Yes, you do. You have a great staff. Well, a few times I visit your office, they've always been very helpful and answer all the questions I've ever had.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'll pass that along as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tabitha. Great presentation. Does anybody else have any other questions? If not, we'll move down to item C. I have, and you all have in your packet, there's 4 items, a motion to declare surplus on county property, and it says see attachment A. If you look at attachment A, there's 2 commercial washer machines and 2 commercial dryers that were surplused from the jail. They're actually not even, they're outdated for even parts, and they're not working. And I think I mentioned to pretty well all of you, the jail had received a grant that the jailer and them reached out for through the Department of Corrections to replace these 4 units. And they were able to replace it at 100%. So, which totaled $42,000. It wasn't even a pass through. The Department of Corrections purchased the 2 washers, 2 dryers, and had them installed. So that was
even
great.
better.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we didn't have to amend the budget or anything for additional revenues coming in to pay for it. They made the purchase and had them delivered to us. So I need a motion to declare those 4 items listed surplus to be destroyed at the scrapyard or to be turned over to the scrapyard. And then that payment will go back into the jail canteen account. I believe that's where it came from, or the jail account.
make a motion to declare surplus on the county property as identified in attachment A.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Codar, second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by a show of hands, or say aye.
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 Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to old business, we have nothing to report on, nor new business. Reports, judge's report, just a couple of things to report on. One, hopefully we're bypassing all bad weather in the road department. Not only our road department, but I just saw an email from the state. Matter of fact, I think it's tomorrow, isn't it, Colton, that they're going to be patching southbound 75 from Crittenden, actually, I think from Walton to about Dry Ridge. So I'd avoid I-75 southbound tomorrow. They'll be doing rolling roadblocks while they patch the needed potholes. Also, the road department's out patching it. Also, I spoke to Jerry Keith today, our state engineer here in Williamstown. He's out in the process of grading the 4 roads that we put in for discretionary monies from the governor's office. So hopefully he's looking at it. I don't know, did any of you get on the governor's call today on the budget? It looks like that they've earmarked it's going to go through for quite a bit of money going into transportation for road improvements. So hopefully we've got our paperwork in, they're getting graded, that we'll be fortunate to get awarded some of that money for these 4 roadways. That's the only thing I had to report on. Roger, anything to report on this meeting?
No, sir, nothing at this meeting.
Shauna? Anything?
No, I have nothing. Thank you. Mm-mm.
Jacqueline?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on down to item A is citizens address. Do we have anybody on here with us that needs to address the court? Okay, Debbie?
What are the 4 roads that you were talking about?
Napoleon Zion Station,
Mason Cordova.
Mason Cordova, a portion of Case Lane, which is partly city's road, and the ending of it's county road.
Mhm.
And then Sherman Newtown.
Sherman, Newtown,
Yes.
Newton.
And these are complete repaves the whole length of the road. Now, Napoleon Zion Station's shy of 10 miles in length. So that's our most expensive road to repave.
That's our longest road in the county too, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just so you'll know, cost difference, I think that one came in close to $1 million just
Yeah.
to pave that one road.
Yeah.
5 years ago, we could have paved it probably for 400,000. That's how
Yeah.
much it went up.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's over doubled.
Materials cost is just eating us alive on everything. Petroleum based.
So we were fortunate through the ARPA funds that we were able to pave all the roads we paved before the prices really started going up.
Yes.
And we were already experiencing some height in the pricing, even during COVID. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing that from all across everywhere I've been. It's like everything is just out of sight.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious about, and this is just, I'm probably showing my ignorance on budgeting and stuff, but where the jail got the grant and they didn't have to pass through or anything, is that considered an in-kind of some sort, or is it just strictly Department of Corrections?
it's just Department of Corrections. They issue grants. So does Department of Local Government. I know that some equipment that we received that links the jail video conference with the inmates from the jail to the judicial center. That was grants that actually Department of Local Government handled, and we submitted the invoice to them. They paid the invoice directly. That's not commonly done, but it is done in certain occasions.
Okay, that's all I got. Thanks.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anyone else? If not, we'll move down to, for adjournment, just remind everyone, our next meeting will be Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. It'll be at 4:30 PM and it will be in person here at the courthouse. If anyone doesn't have anything else, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley and a second by Magistrate Kodar. All in favor by show of hands or aye?
Aye.
Appears all in favor. Motion carries. We're now adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Evening.
Bye-bye.